Good morning. So today we will study the next cell organelle, that is plastids. I hope you all are thorough with the portions which we studied in the last classes. So today we will study the next cell organelle, that is plastids. I hope plastids means it's actually specialty of plant cells. We can see these plastids in plant cells. Mostly in case of plant cells we can see these plastids only in the plant cells. And there are two different types of plastids, and the two different types of plastids are chromoplast and leucoplast. Two different types of plastids include chromoplast and leucoplast. We will study about all these things, okay, don't worry. So chromoplast are actually colored plastids. Chromoplast are colored plastids, and leucoplast, they are actually colorless or white plastids. So that is the main difference between the plastids, two different types of plastids, chromoplast and leucoplast. Chromoplast are colored plastids and leucoplast are white or colorless plastids. And in chromoplast, if it is having chlorophyll, if the chromoplast has chlorophyll, then we call it as chloroplast. Chromoplast which is having chlorophyll. The green, what is chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is the green colored pigment. What is the role of chlorophyll? It helps in the process of photosynthesis. So the main role of chloroplast is photosynthesis. So the chromoplast with chlorophyll, green colored pigment chlorophyll, we call it as chloroplast, which helps in photosynthesis. And these chloroplasts also contain yellow or orange pigments also. It also contains yellow or orange pigments. And when we come to leucoplast, the main role of leucoplast is storage. To store starch, oils and protein granules. Main role of leucoplast is storage of starch, oil and protein granules. Now we'll see the structure of chloroplast. We'll see just a rough, we are not studying in that detail about the structure like other cell organelle mitochondria. This chloroplast also have double-layered membrane, and inside the double-layered membrane there is a region which is called as stroma, filled with the region inside the cell chloroplast is called as stroma. And inside stroma we can see membrane bound structures are arranged in stacks. The membrane bound structures are arranged and these stacks are called as grana. So stroma is the matrix or the base ground substance which is present inside the chloroplast, and grana is the membrane bound structures which are present inside the stroma. And these stromas are connected by stroma lamella, and these chloroplast, like mitochondria, they also have their own ribosomes and the DNA. They have their own ribosomes and their own DNA. So that is the specialty of chloroplast. Chloroplast is a double-layered, it has a double-layered membrane, and inside the double-layered membrane there is a ground substance matrix called as stroma, and within the stroma, grana, the membrane bound structures are arranged like piles, like coins one over the other, that is called as grana, and they have their own ribosomes and DNA. They have their own ribosomes and their own DNA. This is DNA. Their own ribosomes and their own DNA. So that's about the structure of chloroplast. So we'll see once again about the plastids. Plastids are the specialty of plant cells. It can be seen only in the plant cells. And there are two types of plastids, chromoplast and leucoplast. Chromoplast are colored plastids and leucoplast are white or colorless plastids. Now coming to the functions, like chromoplast gives color to different parts of the plants, and chromoplast which is having chlorophyll pigment is the green pigment which helps in photosynthesis. So the chromoplast which is having chlorophyll in it is called as chloroplast, and its main role is helps in photosynthesis. And this chloroplast also may contain yellow or orange pigment. Now coming to the leucoplast, they are actually colorless or white colored plastids. Main role is storage of starch, oils and protein granules. Coming to the structure, it has a double layered membrane outside, and within the membrane ground material called as stroma. Stroma is present. You can see stroma. No, you can't see stroma. No, I'll write stroma here. Stroma. Stroma here, and in stroma membrane bound strands are arranged called as grana. Grana. Grana is present, and they have their own ribosomes and their own DNA. This is about the plastids. The last cell organelle which we have to study is about vacuoles. Vacuoles are actually storage sac for solid or liquid contents. So the vacuoles act as a storage sac for solid or liquid contents. And in case of that is one of the main difference between animal and plant cell. Animals, we studied last plastids. Plastids are only seen in plant cell, but it's absent in animal cell. Now here, in case of animal cell, these vacuoles are present, but it may be of very small size, or it may be absent. If it is present, it will be in very small size, or it may be absent. And when coming to the plants, plants will have a very large central vacuole. It will have a very large central vacuole. Mostly it occupies 50 to 90% of the cell volume. Mostly it occupies to 50 to 90% of cell volume. So the plants will have a very large central vacuole, but animals will have vacuole. If it is there, means it will be very small in size. If it otherwise, it may be absent. Now coming to the structure, it will have an outer membrane called as tonoplast, and inside there is a sap which is filled with the ground material that is called as the cell sap. Cell sap is present inside. So outer membrane tonoplast, and within it is called as cell sap. And in cell saps, various materials like amino acid, sugars, some organic acids and some proteins will be stored inside the cell sap. Amino acids, sugars, organic acids and some proteins are stored inside the cell sap. So that is about the structure of vacuole. Coming to the function. Function means mainly it provides turgidity and rigidity to the cell. What do you mean by turgidity? Turgidity means the shape, proper shape. We said if water enters, the cell will swells up and cell will shrink. So this will happen. So turgidity means because of the presence of this vacuole filled with fluid, the cell will have a turgid shape or turgidity. It will have a proper shape. And rigidity means its strength. It will have the rigidness. So it provides turgidity and rigidity to the cell. So the function of vacuole is providing turgidity and rigidity to the cell. Now coming to unicellular organism like amoeba. In case of amoeba, I haven't written it here, amoeba. In amoeba, we can see food vacuoles. Food vacuoles will be present in amoeba, which help to store the food, and the food digestion will take place inside this food vacuoles. And in some other unicellular organisms, vacuoles will be there for expelling out the waste materials and excess water. Excess water and waste materials can be expelled out by the help of certain vacuoles in the body. So this is all about the vacuoles. Vacuoles are mostly storage sac for solid and liquid contents of the cell. In case of animals, the vacuoles are very small in size or it may be absent. But in case of plants, it's very large, and the large central vacuole almost occupy 50 to 90% of the cell. Coming to the structure, it will have an outer membrane called as tonoplast, and within that there is a material called as cell sap, and cell sap will have amino acids, sugars, organic acids and some protein will be present in the cell sap. Coming to the functions of vacuoles, it provides turgidity and rigidity to the cell. And in case of amoeba, they will have food vacuoles which helps in the food digestion, and some other unicellular organism they have the vacuoles which for expelling out the excess water and the waste material. So that's all about the organelles. We have completed with all the organelles of cell. So we studied about all the organelles in the cell. and the functions of different organelles, and each and every organelle will have specific and particular function. And because of these functions performed by the cell organelles, cell will have definite role in the body. So that is how the cell forms the basic structural and functional unit of an organism. Cell helps in cellular respiration, digestion, different processes are taking place within a single cell itself, and each cell joined together to do the various functions of our body. So hence cell is considered as the functional unit of life. And that's about the cell. Now we'll be studying about the next topic, that is cell division. The next topic which we have to study is about cell division. So in the beginning of this chapter we studied about cell theory, and in the cell theory we studied about Rudolf Virchow, who expanded the cell theory by adding one more statement, that is all cells arise from pre-existing cell. What does it mean? That is, all new cells form from a already existing cell. So that is actually, we know in the body of an organism, each and every day new cells are forming, and the new cells are forming in order to replace the old cells, dead cells and injured cells. When a small scratch occurs in our skin itself, we are losing the cells. So in order to replace the old, dead or injured cells, the cell has to divide. And also gamete formation is also taking place by the division of cell. So a new cell formed by the process by dividing a pre-existing cell, and that process is called as cell division. And there are two different types of cell division. One is mitosis, another one is meiosis. Mitosis is the most common method of cell division which occur in the body of an organism, and meiosis is the type of cell division which lead to the formation of gametes. So here that occurs in the reproductive organs. And the mitosis is the most common type of cell division. It occurs every part of the body, and each cell, called as mother cell, will divide to form two daughter cells which are identical. So the mother cell, here in case of mitosis, the mother cell will divide to form two identical daughter cells. So here, after division, the number of chromosomes which are there present in the daughter cells will be similar or same as that of the parent or the mother cell. Here, in the first case, in the mother cell, 4 chromosomes are there. Even after division, both the cells will get 4 chromosomes. So the number of chromosomes will be same. Even after formation of daughter cells, the number of chromosomes will be same. But in case of meiosis, meiosis is the division which lead to the formation of gametes. And what are gametes? I think you would have studied about gametes in 8th class. That is, gametes are the reproductive cells. In male, that is sperm, and in female, it is ova. So these gametes will fuse to form the offspring. So the number of chromosomes in the gamete should be half. That also you have studied in 8th class. So the number of chromosomes in the gametes should be half the number, not as the parent. So the gametes are formed by a division called as meiosis. In case of gametogenesis or the gamete formation or the meiosis, the parent cell or the mother cell will undergo division two types. Two consecutive divisions happens here. First, meiosis. In the meiosis 1, this entire cell will divide to form two cells, two daughter cells, and they again further divide to form 4 cells which are having half the number of chromosomes. So in the parent cell, 4 will be their chromosome, like not, this is just a number, okay? This is not 4 and all. We know the number of chromosomes in a human cell is 23 pairs, that is 46 chromosomes. So here just a representation. So here it will divide to form cells, 4 cells instead of 2 cells. Here after the completion of meiosis, 4 daughter cells will be forming, and the 4 daughter cells will have half the number of chromosomes, and hence here in this case the number of chromosomes are reduced. Such type of division is called as meiosis. Such type of division is called as meiosis or reduction division. Here the number of chromosomes is reducing. Instead of 2, 4 cells are forming. So these are the major differences between mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis, parent cell divide to form 2 identical daughter cells. Here parent cell divide to form 4 daughter cells with half the number of chromosomes. So that is about the cell division. We will be studying about meiosis and mitosis in detail in higher grades. Now we just have to, just an introductory part is there of cell division here. Next, now we will see the major differences between plant cell and animal cell, and also we will see the structures of different cell organelles in the coming slides. Now we see the differences between plant cell and animal cell in detail. We have studied about the different organelles present in plant and animal cell. Now we see the basic differences between plant cell and animal cell. Cells are generally small in size, but plant cells are usually larger than animal cells. So comparatively, plant cells are larger than animal cells. That is the first difference between animal cell and plant cell. The next second difference is cell wall is absent in animal cell and cell wall is present in plant cell. We studied about the cell wall. Cell wall is made up of cellulose and cell wall is absent in animal cell, but cell wall is present in plant cell. And except the protozoa euglena, no animal cell possesses plastids. Animal cells, they don't have plastids, but plant cells possess plastids, including chromoplast and leucoplast. We studied about the plastids. We studied about the different types of plastids. Plastids include chromoplast and leucoplast, and plastids are present in plant cells. Then fourth difference, that is vacuoles are smaller in size in animal cells. They are very small in size. Sometimes they may be absent also. In case of plant cell, vacuoles are larger in size. When we studied the vacuoles, the plant cells have large central vacuole which occupies 50 to 90% of the cell volume. Almost 50 to 90% of the cell volume is occupied by the large central vacuole. And now we can see the diagrams, differences between the animal cell and plant cell. So these are the basic differences between animal cell and plant cell. You have to study it. It is important. So now we will just go through the diagrams of all the cell organelles. First cell organelle we studied is endoplasmic reticulum. Two types of endoplasmic reticulum: rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum have a rough appearance because of the presence of ribosomes. You can see the ribosomes on the rough endoplasmic reticulum. And smooth endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes are absent. Now, the second cell organelle, Golgi apparatus. They have membranous vesicles or vesicles made up of membranes arranged parallel to each other, forming stacks called as cisternae. And their role is storage, modification and package of products from the endoplasmic reticulum. So here we can see the endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus are near to each other. So products of endoplasmic reticulum will be passed to the Golgi apparatus, and there it will be stored, modified and packed, and that will be dispatched to the target site where it has to act. Next cell organelle, lysosomes, called as suicidal bags of the cell, contain hydrolytic enzyme mixture. Very powerful digestive enzymes are present. Spherical bodies with digestive enzymes are called as lysosomes. Next cell organelle is mitochondria. Mitochondria is called as the powerhouse of the cell because it produces energy currency of the cell, that is ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Because of that, mitochondria is called as the powerhouse of the cell. Next cell organelle is plastid. Here we can see the diagram of a chloroplast. It has stroma and membranous granum is arranged, which helps in photosynthesis. Next cell organelle is vacuole. Vacuole is the storage center or storage bag of various compounds like amino acids, proteins, organic acids, sugars, etc. Just a diagram of plant cell. You have to learn the diagram of plant cell. You must learn the diagram of animal cell. Thank you. So by this we come to the end of this chapter, chapter 5, the fundamental unit of life, and the important questions and answers, important notes will be given to you. You must complete all the notes which is given. You must write the notes in your notebook in a proper way, and you have to submit the notebook when the school reopens. Thank you.